Magnum Super Springer. Let me tell you about it. I first saw this rifle in action in the Michigan Northwoods where it was cold, and it still performed flawlessly. After seeing firsthand how effective it was in cold weather, I decided to give it a try on rabbits and squirrels, and I have to tell you, I'm extremely impressed. The Diana AR-8 features a break barrel action, and when you cock it, you'll tell instantly that it takes more force than a standard break barrel air gun. The reason is, it features what they call the N-Tech gas piston. The unit contains gas under pressure that powers the piston when the gun is fired. That compressed gas never leaves the gun, and it doesn't push the pellet out the muzzle. The pellet is pushed out by the air that is compressed by the piston. Again, this is a gas spring, and the advantage a gas spring has over a coil spring is that you can leave it cocked for hours without degrading the power. Gas springs don't vibrate like most coil springs do. With this rifle, you never want to dry fire it because it'll cause the piston to slam. The overall weight of the AR-8 is around 7 pounds. This particular rifle is a single shot air rifle, and it has a composite ambidextrous stock that feels good to both the right-handed and left-handed shooter. You'll also notice it has a slight textured finish that's going to help you with the grip. It has a scope rail on top, and I've topped it off with a Mantis 3x9x40 scope. The safety is located on the rear of the gun in a nice position, and when you cock it, it automatically goes on safe. You push it forward to fire. The trigger on this rifle is a 2-stage trigger, and it's adjustable right out of the box. It comes at about 2 pounds, but you can adjust it lighter if you'd like. And this trigger is about as good a trigger as you're going to ever find in a break barrel air rifle. Now the finish on the Diana AR-8 is actually more of a flat finish rather than a glossy finish, and I really like it. And here's a piece of advice for you. No matter what rifle you shoot, before you store it long term, make sure and rub it down with a light coating of oil to prevent rusting. The rifle has your basic adjustable sights both front and rear. The front, you adjust the front sight by spinning this wheel, while the rear sight, you'll need an Allen wrench to adjust for your windage. The pellet that I'm shooting is called the Terminator. Again, this is a .22 caliber pellet, and it does one heck of a job on squirrels and rabbits to knock them down quickly and ethically. All right, let's go ahead and shoot this rifle and see how it works. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a 10-shot group. I took this and I just put it together out of the box. I have not shot it yet, so we're going to see how close it is. Okay, it looks like I've got to bring it up just a little bit. A little tip for you. Make sure and have a good rest like this and hold your rifle stationary. When you take that first shot, like I just did, and you can see that it's low, what you want to do is you want to adjust your crosshairs to the bullet hole. And once you do that, it should be dead on. Now let's go ahead and take a second shot. Perfect. Look at that. Perfect. The Diana AR-8 is one heck of an air rifle, and if you're an air gun hunter, I think you're going to really be impressed at the job that it does on both squirrels and rabbits. If you'd like more information on this rifle, you can log on to pyramidair.com, where they sell everything when it comes to the air gunner needs. I'm Keith Warren. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure and share it with your friends, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by PyramidAir.com, Liberty Safe, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, Castle Rock Outfitters, and OpticsPlanet.com.
That's what I came to Texas for, I think.
For anybody that has not used Tannerite, nobody makes one that is as safe as this. We're eye protection, we're hearing protection, and also be 100 yards from your target every single time. And if you do those things, you're not going to have any problem. Yep, we're down here to take out some deer and some hogs, and I think that they're in trouble.
Got it. Good. This one good.
South Texas is game rich and not only supports a great population of whitetail deer, but the predator hunting is exceptional too. And when there's lots of predators, you can bet they're there for a reason. Because there's lots of food. And on this part of the show, I'll be using the Diana AR-8 air rifle as I go after South Texas cottontail rabbits. Facing left has no idea we're here. You're going to do this with a pellet rifle. This particular one that I'm shooting is a .22 caliber. I would recommend shooting them in the eye. That way it puts them down immediately. If I don't do that, what's going to happen? They're going to run back in this thick cover. I'm not going to be able to recover them, but that right there is a good eating cottontail. Hunting cottontail rabbits with a Diana air rifle. This is like I said, a .22 caliber. It's an AR-8. It comes in a 177 caliber as well. But this little gun right here, the trigger is absolutely phenomenal. It is a sweet shooting air rifle, and for the money, you cannot beat this. Again, this is the Diana AR-8 air rifle, and it is just a great barrel air rifle. And I'll tell you what, it's a sweet shooting one. Well, it's the end of the year, and fireworks shows are going to be put on all over the country here, well, real soon for New Year's. And, you know, I'm with Dan Tanner. Dan came down, and we just recently went on a hunt. Dan is the owner and the founder of Tannerite. And Tannerite is a binary reactive rifle target. And there's a lot of misnomers out there, a lot of misinformation out there about Tannerite. And what I wanted to do, well, after the hunt's been concluded now, I asked Dan, I said if he would sit down. He has no idea really what I'm going to ask him, because really what I'm trying to do is I want to get the information out of him that I think that the viewer would want to know. For anybody that has not used Tannerite, it is a product that has two parts to it. So explain to them how it works.
Correct. Well, you have a oxidizer, which is the nitrates, and then you have a fuel, and it's added to the nitrates. When they're separate, it's not regulated in any way, shape, or form.
Right. And so, but when it's separated like this, these are the two components right here. They're just as safe as it can be.
Correct.
Okay. And when they're combined together, then all of a sudden you have the compound together. Then tell them what causes it to go off.
Right. The kinetic energy from a high power rifle bullet.
Okay, the kinetic energy. And folks, that's really important, the kinetic energy. And the reason for that is there's a lot of people think that you can take a match to Tannerite. You can light it. You can't. Correct. What is typically the minimum size of caliber ammunition to set this off?
Generally speaking, 2,000 feet per second in 22 center fire round.
Okay, okay, so
Not rim fire.
not rim fire, but center fire. That's important too. So now if people want more information about Tannerite brand, what do they need to do?
Let's go www.tannerite.com.
Okay, and folks, if you have any questions or comments about Tannerite, please make sure and note them in the comment section below. And I hope you found this this video helpful. And if you have, share it with your friends. And I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thanks for watching. I'm here at Heartland Whitetails, not only to do the first ever deer hunt using the Dragon Claw, but to do so on some of Canada's biggest and toughest whitetails. It's unseasonably warm right now, but as soon as the sun goes down, it's gonna get chilly. And what we're hoping for is that come close to dark, that these deer will come up out of the bottom, out of these sides, and feed right up through this side hill and come within range. We're gonna see if somebody comes in close enough to give a shot. If it does, I've got Al here. Now, Al wound up, he saw me shoot this a little earlier today, so he has a lot of confidence into this thing too. So if one comes in, if he comes within 40 yards, I think it's lights out. Awesome. Holy smokes. That was awesome. That was awesome. First. That is a first. That is a first. I came to Saskatchewan, to Heartland Whitetails, to do exactly what we just did. This is a first for me. This is an unbelievable piece of equipment. This is called the Dragon Claw. It is a pneumatic powered air rifle. It shoots 500 feet per second. It shoots a special arrow, and that special arrow did a special job. And it very well may be the first whitetail deer ever killed, ever, not just on video, but ever killed with the Dragon Claw. That was cool. I like that. Hey everybody, welcome to the show into eastern Saskatchewan, where it is mid-November and the white-tailed deer should be in the rut. Well, we got a couple of problems. We've got a full moon and it's unseasonably warm. And the whitetails, according to the game camera, I cannot believe that. Saskatchewan is one of my favorite places to hunt, period. And the reason why is because the country is big. And the thing is, there's a variety of wild game species that live here. And when you're sitting in the provincial forest, out in the wild Canadian bush, there is no telling what's going to walk out in front of you. This right here is incredible. Holy smokes.
Thank you. Do I love Keith Warren or what? Look at this thing.
Look at that. You've got to be kidding me. Look at that giant.
That was the big bear.
But in Canada, what happens,
Whose bag is this? It's a pretty bag you got there. My name is Brad Still from South Carolina. This is my first opportunity to come up to Saskatchewan and hunt whitetail. I've been here for bear, but when Keith called me and said, hey, I've got an opportunity for us to hunt together, I jumped right on the plane, booked my ticket.
Way easy.
Oh, you're such a good guy, Keith.
I know,
Regardless of what Kent says about you when you're asleep, you're a good guy.
How are you?
Good. See you, Keith.
That's Brad right there. This is
Brad.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Brad.
that little
Good.
anemic guy.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Lance Miller. I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada, professional guide in this area for a long time. Me and Keith Warren have been hunting here for many years. We've had some fantastic black bear hunts. This year we decided we'd try a free-range whitetail hunt. It's a little different than the last time Keith was up here. Last time Keith was up here was very cold, which is normal for this time. We got snow on the ground and it was cold. This year is a different story.
Boy, what's the deal with the weather?
Unreal. Unreal.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I've been up here so many times. I've never seen it like this.
No,
I mean, this is comfortable. It's not cold at all. Hunting up here in the provincial forest in Saskatchewan is wild. That's all I can say.
We're pushing this guy and you're going to walk yourself right into a trap. This is a recipe for disaster.
It's thick. It's one of those kind of deals you don't know what's going to come out in front of you. It could be a wolf, it could be a coyote, or it could be a great big whitetail buck. But when you're hunting in the forest, it's tight, it's thick, and you can't see very well at all. And so the places that Lance has these stands, they're in the exact same places that we actually hunt black bear. And we can show you bear footage from the exact same area as we're hunting these whitetail deer. And so in the fall, as the bears go into hibernation, Lance changes these locations out to be, instead of bear hunting locations, they're deer hunting locations. And again, you can't see far. The furthest shot that we're going to get, period, is going to be 100 yards.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Reconics, 10X High Performance Hunting Gear, Legendary Arms Works, Sightmark, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, and Tannerite. Tannerite Binary Reactive Rifle Targets presents viewer feedback.
All right, this is from Becca. She's from Pennsylvania. She says, hey Keith, what's the smallest caliber you'd recommend using to hunt whitetail deer? By the way, I watch all your shows on YouTube. Thanks in advance for answering my question. Becca, that's a great question. I would encourage you, a 243 is certainly adequate to take down a whitetail deer. Some people may say use something a little bit bigger than that, but a 243 will do the job as long as you're accurate, you're shooting a load that packs a powerful punch. I'd encourage you to go to freedommunitions.com, do some research and find out not only all the different ammos that they have there, but one that is designed to take down big game animals. And a 243 is a great caliber as long as you choose the right ammunition. Becca, thanks for the question. All right, if you're going to shoot Tannerite, please read the instructions. Wear eye protection and hearing protection, please. There's a lot of people that wind up doing online videos on tannerite and they make a mistake by first off not following the directions. The only way tannerite will go off is with a high-powered cartridge hitting it, period. You can't make it go off any other way. What you want to do is you want to shake it up, mix it up until it's all one uniform color. Now let's have some fun. Up the neighbors.
This is the forestry blocked off. So the miller's property goes right up to the forestry. From that bush line beyond, 60 miles is solid bush. 120 miles long, a million acres.
Game cameras are very effective. We put them out before the hunters show up. We monitor the areas. We know which bucks are coming in. Obviously with the rut, we can have more bucks showing up, but the cameras give us a very good idea what's in the area. This year has been totally different for free-range whitetail hunting. It's been warm, unseasonably warm. We got green grass, we got clovers, we got alfalfas. Everything is green, and to top it off, we got a full moon. We hunt our whitetail deer in the exact same place we hunt our black bears, in the provincial forest. It's very thick here, lots of cover for the whitetails. Our deer stands are located in little cuts in the forest. Typically we've got a box blind with a heater in it, and we're shooting about 80 to 100 yards down a little cut, and we got a bait at the other end.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Pulsar, Nemo Arms, Legends Ranch, the entire line of Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing systems, Record Rack Deer and Elk Feed, and FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination.
My name is Brad Still from South Carolina. This is my first time hunting whitetail deer in Canada. It's the second week of November, and Keith told me we'd have a bunch of snow on the ground, but instead I needed my spring turkey gear. It's really, really warm, and I hope that doesn't shut the deer down. We're hunting in the provincial forest, and we're hunting over bait. And with the weather being as warm as it is, there's so much growth for the deer to eat. We don't know if they're going to come to the bait or not. So about mid-morning, we were planning on staying all day to sundown. A buck popped out, and we hadn't been seeing anything. And I tried to get a good look at him, and when I finally did, I realized this is the buck that I'm going to shoot. He came out and started going towards the bait, but he was a little skittish. And all of a sudden, instead of going to the bait, he turned around and started running back towards the forest. My cameraman, being a veteran hunter, immediately cried out to him and stopped him. And I raised the gun, and within about 2 seconds, no more, before he bolted into the woods, I made a shot on him. Oh yeah, look at him. Look at this. He's a good looking deer. One of the things that Keith told me when I came up here is he said, the body size of the deer here are so big, it's gonna distort the size of the antlers. And so, you know, that was something that I was paying attention to as I was in the blind, waiting on the big boy to come out. When he did come out, I saw those chocolate horns, that big body. He weighed probably 275 pounds, and he was just massive. I just not used to seeing deer that big, but boy, was he a beaut. We got here yesterday, saw deer, sat in the blind this morning, saw deer, and late morning, about almost 11 o'clock, this guy walked out, and we said we knew this was our shooter. We knew this was our deer. He was a beautiful deer, big bodied deer. Just beautiful. We're out here in the provincial forest with aspens and spruce everywhere. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous sit. And what a great morning to harvest this beautiful deer. I'm just very thankful and blessed to have been able to take this deer and create another memory. Keith told me on this hunt that I didn't need to bring a gun, which was great of him. He brought a gun that he used in North Dakota to take a mule deer at about 600 yards. It's a legendary ARM 300 Win Mag, and I knew it was on. The first time I went to the range to sight it in, it hit right in the bullseye, just like every one of Keith's guns.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by PyramidAir.com, Liberty Safe, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, Castle Rock Outfitters, and OpticsPlanet.com.
Use it for 2 weeks prior to the rut, all the way up to 2 weeks after the rut, and it performs fantastic. And so what I wind up doing, take special golden estrus, I'll saturate the key wick, and we'll see what happens.
Hopefully today's going to be the day. It is about 30 minutes before the sun comes up and conditions have changed. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but rain is starting to fall right now. That's not good. If one comes in this morning, I think I can thread the needle and I think I can put one in him and bring him down. I may need to, because if I see another deer, it may be the last deer I'm going to see on this trip because of weather. It looks like it's turning south.
It's now day 4 of the hunt, and although Brad tagged out early, I've been struggling. I'd gone in there and I'd put a key wick up with some special golden estrus just to kind of bait it a little bit better, and it was getting hit hard. So I was seated in a box blind. This area I can only see about 75 yards. Again, it's real narrow in the forest. I can't see hardly anything except straight ahead of me. all of a sudden, a really nice buck showed up. He came in from nowhere. I threw the rifle up and I thought, I just hope he gives me an opportunity. I hope I get that little narrow of a window where I can thread that needle. Turns out he went straight for the key wick.
I'll tell you what, I have been trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, and he stopped literally right under the key wick. Right under the key wick. And I shot him. The only shot I had was a neck shot, period. That is a beautiful buck. Absolutely beautiful. And I'll bet you he fell right next to the key wick. He just showed up. He was walking off. I stopped him and smoked him. Holy smokes, what a beautiful buck. Oh man, look at that. What a beautiful buck. Goodness, look at him. Look how tall he is and massive. I mean, look at the mass. And he's all gnarly down here. Got a little cheater. He's just really a mainframe 8-point, but golly, what a beautiful buck. And I mean, I shot him right there in the neck. It's really the only shot I had. I mean, he came in and he stopped right here. I don't know if he was walking by here or whatever. I hollered at him, he stopped right here. And I knew that scrape was here. And I smoked him, and I had no idea that he was gonna fall right next to the scrape, literally right next to it. But take a look at that deer. That deer is probably all of about 210, 220 pounds. He's a really big body deer for up here in Saskatchewan. And Lance Miller's got some unbelievable hunting up here. If you'd like more information on hunting the provincial forest with Lance Miller, Lance has got, also he owns Woody River Trophy Hunts. But if you want to come up here in the provincial forest, give Lance a call. He does a limited number of forest hunts every year. You can get a hold of him and he'll be happy to help you out. And this right here is a really good deer for the forest. I mean, you know, years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the genetics up here were unbelievable. But people have shot the genetics out for years and years. And so this right here is an exceptional deer for the forest. The one that Brad took is an exceptional deer. And what this is, I'm glad that I shot this, because literally this is the kind of deer that you don't want to have do the breeding. And the reason why is because he's just a mainframe 8-point. The one Brad shot was a nice deer to take too. Boy, I'm happy with him. Now I got to get him tagged and get him out of here. All my life I wanted to have a piece of property. It was my piece of property, you know, ever since I was a little bitty guy. And so when I got to the point in my adult life that I could afford to buy a piece of property, we did. And this is it. And for me, this is like, this is where I long to be all during hunting season. Well, all year, to be honest with you. But during hunting season, I can't be here often. The reason why is because I'm off on the road doing the television show. You know, I'm in Alaska, or I'm in Mexico, or Canada. I'm all over the place. But the place that I'm really not, that I really want to be, is right here at Texas Hidden Springs Ranch.
FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination, presents The High Road with Keith Warren.
We hunt for different reasons, but it's more than just the kill.
First off, I'm grateful to be an American, to live in a country that still has country like this.
It's about the experience, freedom, passion, and adventure. I'm Keith Warren, and like you, I live for the hunt. There's something about being a landowner that until you become a landowner, you really don't understand what I'm talking about. It's a connection that you have, a responsibility that you have to take care of the land. Not just for you and for your family, but for future generations, people that aren't even born yet. We want to leave the land in better shape than the way we found it, and so the challenge is, and me competing against Mother Nature, is I want to be able to see what I can do on this piece of property and kind of compare it to the way it was before I bought the piece of property. All right, this is one of our supplemental feeding stations. I'll tell you more about it in a minute, but I want to talk to you about supplemental feeding. You know, people always ask me, why do you want a supplemental feed? Well, the reason why is because Mother Nature can be really, really cruel at times. And when Mother Nature is cruel, well, guess what? There's not a lot of natural forage for the deer. You know, here on our ranch, we've been supplemental feeding for close to 20 years now. We started out with record rack, and we still feed record rack today for many, many reasons. But the primary reason is because this piece of property didn't have a lot of good deer food on it. The deer density was low when we got it. The quality of the deer was poor when we got it. And we've changed all that up because what we've done, we've focused on nutrition and a good wildlife management plan. A big question is, people say, well, how long does it take before, once you start supplemental feeding, before you find results, before you can actually see and know results? Well, the truth is, in order to get results, you've got to have data. You got to know where you are now. Just like if you have a road map, you're going to travel across the country, you need to know where you're going to start, and then you need to gauge where you are from where you started. And so before you start any kind of a supplemental feeding program, I would encourage you to get a lot of data on your deer herd. What you want to do is you want to take down the age and the weight and the sex of every deer that's harvested. That'll give you a good gauge of where you are to begin with. So I encourage you, once you establish your wildlife management program and a supplemental feeding program, stick to it long enough so you can measure your results. As a land manager, we want to use all the tools that are available to us to do the best job that we can. You know, and here's a tool right here. Okay, this tool right here helps us with the insect problem. Hey, say hi to everybody. Helps us with the insects and the snakes and the mice and everything else. I mean, when we wind up, we think about it as a land manager. You know, you've got peaks and valleys. I mean, sometimes it can rain. That's seldom out here, but like this last summer, we had a lot of rain. I mean, a lot of rain. And so the place greened up very nicely. Most of the time, we don't get rain, and it's pretty doggone dry, and it's for that reason that we have to put out supplemental feed. But you know, the deal is, as a land manager, we have to adapt to the conditions that we have at the time, and that we need to take care of the place the best that we can. And so when it comes time to, you know, to grow the best deer herd that we can, we want to monitor it. Okay, we use game cameras all the time, and that means 12 months out of the year. We wind up using thermal vision during the summer. We'll wind up, one of the cool things about thermal is that we can go out because the antlers are all engorged with blood. When you take a look at them, at a buck, during the summertime, the antlers just show up like they're neon. They're beautiful. And so as you scan the brush and you're looking to see deer, well, the deer pop out, yeah, but boy, do the antlers ever pop out. And so what happened is, as we manage properly and we have the equal number of young deer, middle-aged deer, and mature deer, what happens is that we have to take animals out. And my schedule keeps me away from the place a lot, and so we open it up to sell some hunts. Not many hunts, but we sell enough hunts just to pay the feed bill. And so we don't pressure the animals much, but we sell enough hunts to be able to keep the numbers at exactly where we want it, so we have the equal number of young, middle-aged, and mature animals. And so we're going to start out this season with Rick Filippi. Rick contacted me back in the summer and he said, hey, do you think that can you work in one more hunter? I'm looking for a really big deer. I want a pretty deer. That's one of the things that people want when they come here. They don't really care about score. They care about look. And so he said, do you think you've got an opportunity to work somebody in early in the season? I said, it just so happens we can get you in on opening weekend.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Reconics, 10X High Performance Hunting Gear, Legendary Arms Works, Sightmark, supercharged scent killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%. And Tannerite. The High Road will be right back.
We're on a special permit program from Texas Parks and Wildlife. It's called the Managed Land for Deer program. We're level 3, the highest level you can get. And that allows us to hunt during the archery season with rifles. And so what we wind up doing, we try to start hunting during the archery season with archery gear. The reason to do archery early is that, man, the deer get smart in a hurry. I mean, early in the season, the deer are still on their summer pattern. Okay, they've become hard antlered probably for about a month, maybe 6 weeks, but they're on the food source real easy. And so they're pretty predictable. And so for an archer, that's really the best time that we found to go after the big deer.
Hey guys, I'm here at the Texas Hidden Springs Ranch. Had a great time. I'll tell you, we've just seen a ton of deer, and I'm talking quality deer. One of the first things I did when I got here was shoot my bow. I just wanted to make sure that all my sights were on and everything, because when you go out there to hunt, you know you are going to be taking a life, so I just wanted to make sure all my equipment was working. I think what makes this place so unique is the fact that there's just no pressure here. Keith doesn't run many hunters through here. That's what brought me here. And I got to tell you, you'll see some monster bucks.
Yeah, I wound up years ago. I said I was never going to have anything out here except whitetail deer because I love whitetail deer. But you know what? Black buck are beautiful. They are beautiful, and they don't compete at all with the whitetail deer. So we wound up, we brought a few black buck out, and then all of a sudden now we got a lot of black buck out here.
Coming right up the road. It looks like a pretty nice buck. Yeah, he's a pretty deer. See, I told you there's bucks in here. I believe you. We have a couple. Here comes a big deer. Another one. 10 o'clock. Way over. You can see his white. There's 2 of them. But he's a nice one. There's 2 of them. There's one to his. Yeah, there's another one behind him. Yep, I see it. Yep. That's a cool deer, though. Yep. There's a new buck. Check that buck out over there. The back one. Yeah, there's one. He looks halfway decent. Oh, it's a monster. It is.
Look at these deer and go, this is the way it is because of me and my family and our commitment to doing the best that we can. So anyway, I'm sitting there looking at Rick, and all of a sudden Godzilla comes walking out. I mean, here's this deer we have only seen on pictures on the game cameras, and all of a sudden he's standing right in front of us.
After making the shot, Keith and I came back to camp to grab some headlamps, and getting back to where I made the shot, Bob found the arrow and there was good blood on the arrow, which indicated a very good hit. And I got to tell you, I really was pumped when I saw that.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Pulsar, Nemo Arms, Legends Ranch, the entire line of Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing systems, Record Rack Deer and Elk Feed, and FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination. The High Road will be right back. Tannerite Binary Reactive Rifle Targets presents viewer feedback.
All right, this question is from a viewer in Florida. His name is Bill Matson. It's about thermal vision. It says, do you think it's fair to use state-of-the-art equipment for hog hunting? If so, why? I don't see why so many people want to get their hands on thermal units. Bill, the reason why people want to get their hands on thermal units is because they're probably one of the most cool units there is to do hunts. If you live in Florida, just like I live in Texas, you've got a problem with feral hogs over there. Feral hogs are really, really smart. Well, I encourage everybody, if you've got feral hogs, make sure it's legal, and if it's legal, hunting them with thermal gear is absolutely as good as it can get. It allows you to really kind of turn the tables on hogs. You can go in there at night in the cover of darkness and you can even it up real quick. So why do so many people want to use them? Because it's really, really a cool device. It's very effective, and yes, I think it is very ethical to do it. And so as far as the question goes, do I think it's fair? Absolutely it's fair. Okay, so tell me what happened.
Anyway, we were sitting in the stand and boy, the deer were just pouring in from all over. And all evening we had a real nice buck over here, nice management buck. Kept looking up to the east of us here up in the timber for like an hour. Kept thinking, man, there's gotta be something up there. Finally, closer to dark, this monster comes out of the woods. And I tell you, I mean, he just looked like a man amongst boys. When those big bucks come out, I mean, it's just a different deal. He gave me a pretty good quarter away shot, and I shot him, and here's the arrow, and we're gonna go look for him right now, and my heart's beating 100 miles an hour. We got blood back here, and I found a drop right there. You got blood? You do? A little more? Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh! Yes, baby! Yes! I turned 62 years old next year. I've deer hunted since I was 13. I've killed over 120 deer with my bow. This is the best deer I've ever killed in my life. Oh my word. Thank you, dear Lord. Oh my gosh, guys. Man, I mean, look at that deer. Look at that deer. Is that not awesome?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And Keith Warren, thank you. Guys, I tell you, Keith has a fantastic place to hunt here. And the one reason I came here to hunt with Keith is I know that he doesn't overhunt his place. A lot of these people run hunters in and out, in and out, in and out. And he doesn't run many trophy hunts. And I mean, this is the kind of deer you have a chance at killing. I mean, unbelievable. My old buddy Bob here, we stuck it out the first 2 or 3 hunts. I don't think we seen a buck, and then they just turned on. They turned on.
That cold front changed things quite a bit.
Beautiful. Golly.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's a buck of a lifetime.
It is. Beautiful deer. Thank you, thank you. Wow.
Rick had taken a beautiful deer, and I was really happy too. I mean, we got to get it on video, and I got to experience that with him. But one thing that we try to take early in the season are management deer. And management deer to us are 3-year-old deer or older that have 8 points or more. They could have 10 or 12 points, but they're just not genetically what we want to breed. And so we try to get them out early in the season before the rut starts. Again, early in the season, they're very predictable, and we want to target those deer and get them out of the herd. Dean's a guy that's been watching me on television for a long time, and he called up, he says, hey, I'd really like to come, and he's from Pennsylvania, so he and his wife came down here, and I said, I think you're going to be impressed. Corey, is that a good angle? You got to get him broadside, all right? Okay, wait till he gives you a good shot.
Thanks, brother. Beautiful buck. Here at Texas Hidden Springs Ranch. Beautiful morning, beautiful buck.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by PyramidAir.com, Liberty Safe, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, Castle Rock Outfitters, and OpticsPlanet.com. The High Road will be right back.
All right, so we've got a couple of really nice deer down, and a few weeks go by, and then I've got another hunter shows up, and Jamie's a buddy of mine. Jamie's hunt is taking place in November. The leaves are starting to fall off. It's getting a little bit cooler. It's feeling more like, well, it's feeling more like hunting season.
Maddie and
Keith and I went to the blind yesterday and knew we had some activity out there, and we were just waiting on some daylight, and it started coming in, and I mean, we had, you know, does and bucks coming in, and this one came in, and first thing caught my eye, he had a kicker hanging off the side of it.
That's a nice buck. I can't tell the whole age and all that stuff. But
I kept my eye on him, and he was right out in front of us, and we had a black buck that came in and immediately started making a scrape and, you know, urinating in it. Sat and watched that. A couple of them started sparring a little bit. It was just a lot of stuff that I've never, you know, had the opportunity to experience before. And there was a couple big ones that came in, and Keith got a little sidetracked, and I never lost focus. And I kept kind of asking, you know, what do you think about this one? Is this one, you know, doable or what have you?
And I mean, he is gorgeous. And he's a little bit bigger than probably most management deer, like way bigger than most management deer. But, you know, I'm with Jamie, and I want Jamie to have a good time, and I want to make Jamie's hunt special. So I kind of bumped Jamie up to a trophy hunt. Finally, I give Jamie the cue. It's like, why don't you go ahead and just shoot him if you like him. Don't get in a hurry at all. I know. We waited about 5 minutes too long. Yeah, it's okay. We're fine. We're going to be fine.
Well, at that time, it looked like this in my scope, and he reared his head up and just got out enough to where I could take a shot.
There's something spoken. I've got about 4 or 5 little grass twigs. If you think you can do it, do it. I'm popping. It's too good. Fire in the hole. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh, hold still. Hold still. I want to keep him going down. Holy. Oh, he just went down.
Yeah, that's been trying. He got back in the brush back there and started working that tree, and he got in a little deep, and I didn't think I had a shot at him, but I think I saw his head rear up after we touched it off. So.
Oh, he definitely did. I know you closed your eyes because you were so excited, but it was...
I put my head back because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
He made me wait too long.
I'm notorious for doing that.
He's right there. Look at the white belly. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's blood all over.
Look at this, man. He freaking drove it in the ground.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I mean, look at all this trash on him. You could count those too.
Yeah. Look how long his beams are.
I know.
That's just...
I mean, that's amazing. I just can't get over that.
Look at that. What goes into the health of these deer? It's just absolutely incredible what goes on behind the scenes. In fact, that's probably what I've learned the most out of this trip is not really the, you know, the big bucks, and that's kind of what you focus on when you jump off the airplane. But after seeing the operation, it's kind of a story I don't think that's told quite a bit enough. And when you sit in that blind and you look out in the field, you see very, very quickly that the health and the management and the care and attention that are given to these animals is some serious business. And so anyway, and you get to be with the legend Keith, so that was fun as well.
As a landowner, I look back at every deer season that we have, and I reminisce about what we've done, how far we've taken it over the period of time that we've had the piece of property. I think about the memories that we've made, and we call it the joy of the hunt. You can go lots of different places and shoot big deer. That's no big deal anymore, okay? But you can't go to lots of places and have a big time. And that's why we call it the joy of the hunt. We want people to come out here that really enjoy the joy of the hunt, that they realize that there's more to hunting than just getting a tape measure and scoring your deer. It's all about camaraderie, friendship, connection with nature and with each other. And so as a landowner, when I reflect upon every season, I say, I want to make it better next year than it was last year, and every year we do make it better. If you'd like more information about hunting opportunities with us at the Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, you can look us up on our website at texashidden-springs-ranch.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show into eastern Saskatchewan, where it is mid-November and the white-tailed deer should be in the rut. But we got a couple of problems. We've got a full moon and it's unseasonably warm. And the whitetails, according to the game camera, are a no-show.
FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination, presents The High Road with Keith Warren.
We hunt for different reasons, but it's more than just the kill.
First off, I'm grateful to be an American, to live in a country that still has a country like this.
It's about the experience, freedom, passion, and adventure. I'm Keith Warren, and like you, I live for the hunt. Saskatchewan is one of my favorite places to hunt, period. And the reason why is because the country is big. I've been coming to this area of Saskatchewan for 20 years, chasing after big black bear and some of the biggest white-tailed deer anywhere. This area was once known for producing more Boone and Crockett black bears and bucks than any other area of the province. And for me personally, it's been one of the most consistent producers of great animals as we produce our television shows and our online hunting videos.
Do I love Keith Warren or what? Look at this thing.
Holy smokes.
Look at that. You've got to be kidding me. Look at that giant.
Friend, Brad Steele.
This is a memory of a lifetime for me.
Yes! Thank you, Lord. Yes!
Good shot, my friend.
Perfect! Perfect! Baby! That was good! Oh, he's down! Ah, nice! My name is Brad Steele from South Carolina. This is my first opportunity to come up to Saskatchewan and hunt whitetail. I've been here for bear, but when Keith called me and said, hey, I've got an opportunity for us to hunt together, I jumped right on the plane, booked my ticket.
The odds of taking home a monster Canadian buck from the place we're hunting on today's show are excellent. And the reason why is that this place is private property and it's been managed for years with a focus of growing and maintaining the best whitetail deer herd possible. This Canadian whitetail paradise is called Woody River Trophy Hunts, and it's owned and operated by my friend Lance Miller. Lance is a native from this area, and he is as passionate about deer as any person I know.
Thank you. Talk about prayers answered. Look at this buck.
My name is Lance Miller. I'm a professional guide in Saskatchewan, Canada. Keith's been hunting with me for many years. He's brought rifles, bows, crossbows, but I have never seen something he brought this year.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Reconics, 10X High Performance Hunting Gear, Legendary Arms Works, Sightmark, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, and Tannerite. Tannerite Binary Reactive Rifle Targets presents viewer feedback.
This one is from Jennifer. She says, hey Keith, what is the smallest caliber of big game rifle that you would recommend for whitetail deer? Jennifer, that's a good question. I'd recommend at least a 243. And some people out there may be thinking, 243, that's kind of small. It's not small. A 243 is great for a woman, a small frame man, or a child, and it'll do the job adequately on white-tailed deer, big mule deer, and even elk, as long as you choose the right projectile. Jennifer, that's a great question. This is a 50 caliber pneumatic rifle that is capable of shooting a heavyweight pellet, delivering incredible energy. The Dragon Claw also shoots specialized shotgun shells that pattern well enough for small game and birds. And this air rifle is able to send an arrow at a blistering speed of nearly 500 feet per second. Holy smokes, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was cool. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to this rifle. First off, it's a 50 caliber. This is a 50 caliber big bore air rifle, and it is filled up right here. So we filled up this is air chambers right here. Okay, the reservoirs right here underneath the barrel itself. Okay, so we pressurized it right there, and what we're going to do, we're going to be shooting this projectile out of it. Now you may be wondering, an arrow out of a 50 caliber air gun? Yes, and I'm going to show you how it works. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go, and Brad and I are going to both hunt for big deer up here in Canada using this. Okay, on the bottom of the forend, you'll notice this. Okay,
Got a gauge.
It's got a gauge. Okay, and what that gauge is for is going to tell you how much pressure is in the reservoir here. All right, so what we're going to do, I want to show you if we were going to shoot what they call a pellet.
Yep.
Okay, a 50 caliber projectile. You would load it right here. So what you would do is you take the projectile, stick it in here, and push it forward, and then you pull this sleeve back, just like that. Okay, but loading an arrow is completely different. What we're going to do, we're going to set it down here on the ground, and we're going to take an arrow, and if you take a good close look at that arrow, you're going to look at it and go, that doesn't look like any arrow you've ever seen before. Looks like a crossbow bolt, but it is a special arrow that is made for shooting in this air rifle. What we're going to do, we're going to set it in here. We lubricate that O-ring. There's a little bit of lube on it now. We stick it in like this, and now we're going to grab the vanes and we're going to start spinning them a little bit like this, just to kind of get them started. Once we get it started, we're going to go ahead and push it all the way in, just like that. Now, you'll notice on the side of the stock, I've got my dope chart right here.
Yep.
All right, and so from 20 to 30 yards, you hold it on the primary crosshair. All right, that's going to be 35, 40, 45, and 50. I have not shot this past 50 yards, but I promise you, it shoots so fast. This rifle right here is shooting close to 500 feet per second with an arrow. Wow. And that's faster than any compound bow, any crossbow on the market. So what we're going to do, we're going to cock it, we're going to put it on safe, and now I want you to get up here on the bench, and I want you to take a shot with it. Make sure to take a look at the dope chart. Go ahead, put it safety off, fire in the hole, fire in the hole. I want you to watch the arrow hit through the scope. Holy smokes. What? I didn't even see it.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by Pulsar, Nemo Arms, Legends Ranch, the entire line of Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing systems, Record Rack Deer and Elk Feed, and FreedomMunitions.com, your online ammunition destination.
The weather, as you can see, has been unseasonably warm. We ain't got no snow on the ground, temperatures have been above freezing, and the free range hunts were hard, and the preserve hunts are just as hard. Woody River Trophy Hunts is a wildlife preserve. It's built in the river bottoms here in Saskatchewan along the Woody River. It's got a mixture of aspens, willows, spruce. It's very thick. The deer love it. They do very well there. Game camera pics show that most of the deer activity is happening at night. The method of choice for hunters is really what they prefer. We take rifle, muzzleloader, bow, crossbow, anything that's a legal method to take a whitetail deer with. In our preserve, we can even hunt with a dragon claw. It'll be very interesting to see how this works. The hunts that we offer are semi-guided hunts. We take you out in the morning, we drop you off at the stand. You're out there by yourself, you get to take the deer you want to take. It don't matter what he scores, don't matter what he looks like. It's the trophy that you believe is the one you want to take home with you.
This weather got chilly, really chilly. This morning, Brad sat in this spot right here and said that he saw quite a few deer, but nothing that really tripped his trigger, so to speak. But the sun came out and we're gonna stay put here till dark. Meanwhile, Brad is a pretty good long hike away from here, and he's gonna see if he can get lucky with that air rifle. Now, he was asking me as far as a pass-through. He says, you think he'll get a pass-through? I honest to goodness, I believe that it would be impossible wherever you hit a deer to not get a pass-through. That's how much energy that arrow has. So, anyway, we're sitting here till dark, or hopefully earlier, and see what happens.
It's been cool, but the sun just came out. The rut is on, and so is our rifle to put the next one down. Just heard Brad shoot. I have not seen a deer yet. I mean, this field is empty. If he stays put, I may have a chance of seeing a deer. If he doesn't, and he gets out, he may mess things up. So I don't know if he's going to stay put or not. Here he comes back. I cannot believe that. I just heard Keith shoot
It can't be more than 10 minutes since I just took my buck. That's incredible. Keith radioed me and told me to stay put, but I ain't listening. I'm gonna go see my buck.
The High Road with Keith Warren is presented by PyramidAir.com, Liberty Safe, Supercharged Scent Killer by Wildlife Research Center, 99%, Castle Rock Outfitters, and OpticsPlanet.com.
I cannot believe that. I looked up, here he comes again. Holy smokes.
I just heard Keith shoot. It can't be more than 10 minutes since I just took my buck. That's incredible. Keith radioed me and told me to stay put, but I ain't listening. I'm gonna go see my buck. Oh my gosh. Look at the size